And welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, our lesson is on equations, more specifically two-step equations that have decimals and fractions in them. So when I'm given anything as a two-step equation, this is very similar to how we solve ours with integers. Now the only difference is now we're given decimals, and in some cases fractions. Okay? So what we're going to use, again, we're going to identify where our variable is located. In this case, here's my variable r. It's on the left-hand side of the equation, so I want to isolate this 6.89r. So I want to get that alone by itself, which means I'm going to get rid of this 1.357. So I'm actually going to subtract that from both sides because I'm trying to create this to be a 0, and I'm going to subtract it from the other side here, 1.357. Okay? Now, I know that any number plus its opposite or subtracted becomes 0, so you're left with 6.89r. Excuse my writing. But now I have this other piece over here, and this is where we're going to get very deliberate with our work. We're going to use our graphing calculator, okay? So I'm going to take this negative 2.73. I'm going to pull up my graphing calculator here. I'll take that negative 24 and 73 hundredths, and we are going to subtract what we had originally, which was that 1.357. We're going to take that, subtract the 1.357, and that gives us our solution here of negative 26 and 87 thousandths. Okay, so I'm just going to write that in. And now we're solving for 1r, so we want to get, this is 6.89 times r, so we want to solve for 1r by dividing both sides by 6.89. And here's the beauty of using Desmos. What I'm going to do right now is I just have to divide this value by 6.89. So I come into my calculator right here, and what I can do is I know that this becomes negative 26 and 87 thousandths. I'm just going to put a parenthesis around it because I want to take this whole value and divide it, take the entire thing, divide it by 6.89. And that will give me my solution here of negative, I'm going to round this to the nearest hundredth, negative 3 and 79 hundredths. Okay, so that's what r is equivalent to, negative 3 and 79 hundredths. Final solution. Okay, so that's one with all decimals. I'm going to show you another one with just fractions. More of the same, we're going to use our graphing calculator to solve this. So this time, my variable is actually on the right side, so I'm going to solve from here. I want to isolate the 2/3 x, meaning I have to get rid of the negative 4/9, so I'm going to add 4/9 to both sides. Okay? Now, if you didn't know what 4 plus 4/9 is, you can certainly go into your graphing calculator down here, and you can type in 4 plus, and then you can type in the fraction 4/9. I'm going to give you 4.4 repeating, so if you're not sure what fraction that is, click the little fraction button. You have 40 over 9, or I also know that that is 4 and 4/9. Okay? I'm going to leave it as 40 over 9 just because I'm going to use that calculator here. So I'm going to make it 40 over 9. So 40/9 is equal to 2/3 x, and then you have to multiply by our reciprocal here. We talked about this with our last video with basic work with fractions. You're going to multiply both sides by 3/2 because remember, if I'm taking 2/3, dividing it by another 2/3, remember we actually keep, change, and flip. We flip this to its reciprocal, and we change to multiplication. That is how we get a 1x. So all of this reduces to 1x. And then you can take that 40/9, and I'm going to come over here, take that 40/9, the same thing, use a parenthesis, group that together. And I'm going to multiply that by 3/2. I come over here, multiply by 3 divided by 2. It gets me 20/3. So final solution, x is equal to 20/3.